Canelo Alvarez is in a very, I repeat, very difficult and dangerous position. I will explain why in this video. Stay tuned. Tables turn. Canelo Alvarez is in a very difficult and dangerous position. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you come in and smash the like button for the latest and greatest in all of boxing. Artur Beterbiev just fought Joe Smith Jr. He excelled. He looked excellent. He looked very, very dangerous, causing a second round stoppage in the fight in New York. And he took a champion and made it look like a gross mismatch, almost as if Joe Smith Jr. didn't belong in the ring with him. So congratulations to Artur Beterbiev. It's not much to break down. It was only 2 rounds. Beterbiev dropped Joe Smith Jr. numerous times, including in the last about 10 seconds of the first round. It was going to go to the bell, and I think they'd already hit the 10-second clapper. And Beterbiev is a don't blink type of puncher where you got to be on guard and paying attention no matter what every split second until he's either not standing or the fight's over. So how does this relate to Canelo Alvarez? Well, Canelo Alvarez has frequently been listed as the face of boxing and #1 pound for pound. With that, heavy is the head that holds the crown. Canelo Alvarez plays stupid games, wins stupid prizes. Canelo Alvarez, nobody really told him to move to 175. I'll take you down a quick stroll down memory lane. And I remember the fans, or at least fans like myself on my channel, Nego's Army, wanted to see Canelo try to become undisputed at 160. That meant he would have to fight 2 black American undefeated fighters with different styles, mind you. One was on DAZN, and Canelo at the time was with DAZN exclusively through Golden Boy, and that was Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Andrade even went to the Saunders fight and pressed Canelo and pulled up to the post-fight festivities, and Canelo tried to make a mockery of him, calling Andrade, "You're a horrible fighter, horrible." And he tried to laugh him out the room, cuss, etc. Now, he could have fought Demetrius Andrade at 160, or they were all in the previous division together, which was 154/Canelo weight of 155. Another person that was also at 54 and then moved up, and concurrently and simultaneously when Canelo moved up, they were at the same division. That was none other than Jermall Charlo. Yeah, keep running your mouth, Lions Only of Lions Only fame. Now, these were 2 great fighters that Canelo could have fought, and out of nowhere, Canelo said he's moving up to 175. The world of boxing, not myself, but many people in the world of boxing said, oh, Canelo, he's just daring to be great by fighting Kovalev, despite the fact that Kovalev had a quick turnaround from the Anthony Yarde fight, which is a grueling fight in itself, where he was almost knocked out. If you go watch that fight again, Kovalev's trainer, Buddy McGirt, said, if you give me another round like that, I'm throwing in the white towel, basically waving the white flag. Canelo used this and seen what I seen and decided to fight against Kovalev and not give him really any time to recuperate. Plus, there were lots of notions that there was rehydration clauses, which would further deplete a guy like Kovalev later in his career, been through some wars, coming off a quick turnaround and a fight. So, like I said, I thought the Kovalev fight was FAF. Then Canelo Alvarez steps foot in the ring with a much fresher Dmitry Bivol. And the funny thing is, when I say all these things in real time, when I said the Canelo Kovalev fight was FAF, fake as uck, right? People said, oh, you're tripping, you're hating. But then to build the Bivol fight years later, everybody on even the promotion, even DAZN was saying, oh, Bivol's different. There's no rehydration clause and he's fresher. So by stating that, you're agreeing to what I had already said about the Kovalev fight. Fast forward to the future. Earlier this year, Cinco de Mayo weekend, Canelo went back to light heavyweight to fight at 175 and was embarrassed by Dmitry Bivol. Sensational performance. So with all these things considered, to me, this puts Canelo in a very precarious position, because to go from being considered the quote unquote face of boxing and #1 pound for pound guy to not being willing to fight, and it's going to be very apparent, the guy that just beat you, Bivol, or the 3-belt champion, Artur Beterbiev, then you're going to look crazy. You're going to look crazy because clearly them two guys are the best at light heavyweight. So if Beterbiev and Bivol fight each other, then that consolidates the belts to one side, meaning if Canelo he chose not to fight Bivol in the immediate rematch. So if Beterbiev can get to Bivol, and I'm just spitballing, but if Beterbiev can get to Bivol, if Beterbiev beats Bivol, then there's really no reason for Canelo to fight Bivol necessarily. People are going to want to see him fight Beterbiev, and that would be an extremely dangerous fight if a guy just became undisputed. So high risk, but also high reward, because Canelo could be undisputed at 175. Or if Bivol beats Beterbiev, his confidence will be through the roof, having beat Joe Smith Jr. before Beterbiev just did it, and then beating Beterbiev himself, right? So either way, it'll solidify the best in the division, meaning these are very, very tough outs at 175 with big dudes. One guy already beat Canelo. Then you look at 168, Canelo again is surrounded by top talent. David Morrell is a rising star and he keeps getting stoppages. I don't even think he's been much past the 6th round. So he's young. I seen a video of Canelo. It was at the Luis Ortiz fight. And David Morrell next to Canelo, he looked huge. And he's young, he's strong, he's flashy, he's flamboyant. That's a dangerous fight. And if Canelo, so basically Canelo can fight at 175, right? And then he has to fight the guy that beat him, Bivol, which is super dangerous. He already ducked the rematch, immediate rematch. So if he wants to go back and get that, he's going to have to fight the guy that beat him or Beterbiev. Or if he says, hey, 175 is too much for me, then in that division, you're undisputed. So you got guys like David Morrell Jr. staring at you. You got guys like the other David Benavidez with the WBC, who just beat in a WBC eliminator David Lemieux by vicious knockout. So no matter where Canelo turns, he's surrounded by tough fights. Then Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade and Jermall Charlo, we haven't seen them fight at 168 yet, but they've both alluded to the fact that they would be moving up. And these are, again, guys that Canelo has avoided at 54. As I mentioned earlier, again, didn't fight him at 160. So there'll be a third division with Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, who he called horrible, 2 undefeated, talented black fighters. So if you don't fight him at 168, that's going to look bad, especially when you're undisputed. You already fought all the other champions. So if you're not fighting Andrade if he moves up, Charlo if he moves up, David Morrell, you're mandatory, or basically the former champion with the WBC that is now beating eliminators, which is David Benavidez, then where does Canelo go? Like, let's say first of all, if he loses to Triple G, that's going to be horrible for Canelo's stock. Or even if it's controversial like the first 2 fights. But let's say he knocks out Triple G, which is, I think, a strong possibility, right? Then what? What is Canelo going to do? Because he's complaining, and his team and his fans are basically complaining, saying 175 is too much weight. Before that, he was talking about fighting at cruiserweight against Makbuk Air and Usyk. So clearly he's going to have to reconsider moving higher than 175, and then at 175 you're surrounded by two killers, the champions, Bivol and Beterbiev, one of which who beat you, and then at 168 you're surrounded by killers, David Benavidez, David Morrell Jr., soon to be Demetrius Andrade, soon to be Jamal Charlo. And these are all difficult, very dangerous fights. After Triple G, we're like, what are you going to fight Triple G a fourth time? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So as I've stated, the walls are closing in on payday. You want payday? I know that. Canelo Alvarez, because he's surrounded by tough fights. And also, how long is DAZN going to be willing to shell out proper dough and 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever millions he's getting for fights that aren't big events? So he's really running out of options. I mean, was he going to fight John Ryder when Morrell, Benavidez, and possibly Charlo and Andrade are all in the same division? It's going to become harder and harder to explain. And then if you don't avenge the Bivol fight, or you don't fight Beterbiev, then you really, who wants to see you fight at 175? Like, what are we supposed to watch, a Caleb Smith fight, a rematch at 175? I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. But as far as I'm concerned, the Canelo era is over, and he's surrounded by tough fights. And based on how he's moved in the past, I don't look forward to him to walk to the fire. And I know he can't make 160 anymore. I mean, his team said they're not making 160. He even said, Errol Spence, why should I make a catchweight? So you can't go backwards. You're getting older, and you're coming off of a loss, and you're surrounded by tough fights. Boom. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.